Hello. So here's the car that I just loaded up onto the trailer a few days ago. Found out that the mounting points were not going to be the same as the previous car. So my D-rings, I mean, they could work, but I'd have to strap it down to the suspension, which is not what I'm wanting to do. So I'm gonna go with an Etrack across. So I picked up 6 pieces of the 5-footers. That's an 18-foot trailer, but it's a Dovetail, so it's basically useful 15.5 feet. So I think this will fit just nice on there. And I've got some 2.5-inch bolts that I'm going to use to anchor this down to the frame on the pieces that go across. So yeah, I'm going to install that today, and I'll show you what I run into and how it works out and what worked best for me. I'm new to this Etrack thing, so I don't know. Hopefully I could be of some help. Alrighty. Alright, so I just laid them out just to kind of set them in place. And can't remember if I said it before, but this is an 18-foot Dovetail. So those are 5-foot pieces. This thing's fit just perfect with what I did before on the D-rings. So you can see what the idea here is. I'll just run it all the way down, and we'll get it. I'll have to figure out how the best way to get it to bolt to the frame piece in between there. See, doesn't catch on one of these bolts, so I'll have to, this is an important one right here too, so I will just slide it down like that, and I'll be able to catch on this bolt right here. So that's an important one because that's where the front tire is going to be. We may have to just make our own hole on some of these, which I don't see that being a problem. I think it's more important that it gets a bolt through the stud than anything. So I'll just run these. I suppose I'll just run it right to the edge of here. And then what I can do is I can take a hammer and I can knock this down a little bit so that it's a little more gentle on the tires going up, even though I don't think that's an issue, but we'll solve it anyway. I'll do the same on this side. So I got some setting up to do, and then I'll let you know what steps I do from there. Alright, so I just got them all set in place. So I ended up with 10.5 inches off of the frame here. And once I got that all figured out, then I pushed this end piece down to the edge and worked it up. So I think when I go to screw it down, I'm going to start with this end piece here, since that'll hold that shape there, and then carry it up and double check my measurements as I go. And over here, see, we got some pieces that are kind of going a little bit wonky, so I think it's going to change the way that it looks. Hopefully not too bad, but 15 feet was just right. Why would you want to go with longer or shorter pieces? Well, less chance of issue here. So the longer the piece, the more straight it's going to stay. But this will work. Now I'll do a temporary screw down, and then I'll bolt it down to the frame. Alright, so I've screwed them down just a little bit, maybe 4 to 6 screws per piece. And that's just basically to have it hold its shape so that I can do the next step. But I would say that was the easy part. See, it looks pretty nice and straight right now. I think once I bolt it all down though completely, it's gonna look a little wavy. I might just be being pessimistic on that though, but that's it. So now I just got to find the frame areas. I'm gonna drill through. I'm gonna make my own holes if needed, but there's gonna be 2 bolts on every single frame cross piece, and I would call that the hardest part. So measuring was easy. I did 10.5 from the rail here to the edge all the way down. Should give me plenty of, the wheel should be right on that. Should be over in this area, the edge of the tire, so I should have a good chunk of it on the Etrack itself and be able to strap it down safely. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start drilling. I've got some second thoughts though. These are wood screws, so the bolts hold everything down, and then the wood screws just kind of hold it in place. I bought some bolts to go in there, but I'm rethinking that. I'm thinking I might want to go back to just putting screws all across to hold it down, aside from, in addition to the bolts. We'll see. I'll think about it while I'm drilling for the next couple hours. Alright, holes are drilled. So, can get that bolt out. So this is one of the areas where I want to make a bracket to go underneath. So it goes through. Those all go through the frame, so they're all, so all be secure. You can see the little marking where my tire was. So we're going to be sitting right on some bolts. So I think I want to do something different for these bolts, but we'll see. The head of the bolt doesn't stick up above the track. Now obviously I will have a washer on there, but I'm not sure how that's going to be, if it's going to be friendly or not. But we'll tackle that next. This one I don't have a frame to mount to, so I put the holes in so that way I can put a piece underneath if needed. But honestly, I think if I just ran a bolt through with a washer, a large washer, it's going to have enough of a footprint there, because we got a bolt holding there. We got, I think structurally it's pretty darn good, but that's where I'm at. Alright, here it is, all bolted down. So there were some areas right here in the front where I didn't have a little frame piece to grab onto, so I just used a little bracket there, like that little brace. Little brace will help it. Let's see here. So there's another one right there, and then that's where it's bolted to the frame. So it's pretty solid at this point. Just gonna use these screws, and then I'll screw it down throughout, so that way it'll be held on good and tight, and it'll stay put. But the bolts basically hold it down. The bolts make it secure. The other screws just keep it flush. So that's it right there. Not too bad. I believe it came out to about 36 bolts total. Alright, finished product. that's it. Completed. Not too bad of a job at all. Definitely first time I've done something like this, but I watched some other videos, and basically they're just using screws and screw bolts to hold it down, and I went to the frame as much as I could. Everywhere that I'm gonna have a strap attached to, it's pretty much attached to the frame, so this should be solid for my application, which is a car. But that's it. I'm pretty happy with it. Looks nice, should be really functional. I'll be using it real soon. That's it. See ya.